What is going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to another episode of Swoop. In this episode, we'll be going over our trade acquisitions. Let's get into it. So, first things first, I'm filming this off of my iPhone 13 Pro because I've misplaced all of my SD cards for my camera. So I've got a nice little camera with no SD cards. I don't know where the hell they're going. I've been looking for them for the last couple of days, but I need to get this video out to you guys. But that's that. So the audio quality might not be good and the video quality might not be the best, but here we are, we continue. So over the last couple of days, Collingwood have made some very good signings. First signing being Bobby Hill from GWS. He comes for a future second round pick, and there's also a swap of third round pick. So we get pick 40, GWS get pick 43, and that can be considered pretty much a bargain. I would have liked to have gotten Bobby for a future third round pick, but future second is okay. Now, there's a lot of questions about how does he fit into our forward line. I think there's a little bit of shuffling around that goes with it. Bobby Hill, very exciting. He's played 11 games this season, and then obviously he's battled with cancer that he's absolutely smashed out of the park, and props to him. He played in the last game of I think it's the knee full, so he made his return through that, and it's amazing. He actually wanted to get drafted to Collingwood when he was in the draft before getting drafted to the Giants. So that's nice, you know. Somehow everyone relates back to Collingwood, and we absolutely love that. But Bobby Hill is going to be that genuine crummer that we really don't have. Now, if you watch those highlights that I uploaded, you can see that he is an out-and-out crummer. Yes, he can kick some nice goals on the run, and yes, he can take a mark and stuff like that. But he's an out-and-out crummer, something that, you know, Ginnivan has been at times, but something that we really don't have in that forward line because Jamie Elliott's not a crummer, neither is Bo McCreary, etc., etc., etc. Now, as I said before, how does he fit into our best 22? What I think happens is I think Bo McCreary takes more of a midfield role. You see him like running off that half back line. He could be that big-bodied inside mid that we want. Not that he is an inside mid, but if you want someone down and under, maybe you want Bo in there. But I think Will Hoskin-Elliott comes out of the team. Bo takes Will Hoskin-Elliott's side, so that sort of half forward, higher up the ground guy that's delivering into the forward line. And then Bobby Hill comes into that 22 and slots into that forward line there. So there you go. That's how he fits into the 22. And look, maybe we don't see him round one, but we will definitely see him throughout the season. I think he has a lot to offer, and he has a lot of room to grow as well. And we've seen players excel under Craig McRae's coaching and all the other assistant coaches as well. So we could see Bobby Hill and Ginnivan just create this forward line force that we haven't seen since 2018. 2018, we had Jordan De Goey kick over 50 goals. Jaden Stevenson kicked over 30. Will Hoskin-Elliott, Josh Thomas, they kicked over 40. So that Swoop squad, as it were, we could see a second coming with that, with Bobby Hill, Jamie Elliott, Jack Ginnivan, Brody Myercheck, McStay. All these players, they can combine for that Swoop squad 2018 style. Speaking of McStay, a great segue into him. We signed McStay as a free agent. Now, there's been a lot of talk about this guy's no good, he's a dud, he's just a bad pickup, and those people probably don't watch a lot of Brisbane games. Now, admittedly, I don't watch a lot of Brisbane games, but I did see Brisbane in the finals, and McStay just turned it on his head. Now, you might look at McStay's stats and say, how are we signing this key forward that, you know, doesn't average 2.5 goals a game? That's not getting a lot of marks. It's not getting a lot of kicks. But you've got to think, in the forward line, sorry, he is getting marks and he is getting kicks. But you've got to think that Brisbane had McStay playing higher up the ground, pushing into the forward line, and then pushing him down forward when they needed that big body forward, when Joe Danaher and stuff weren't really there, and Hipwood, etc., etc., etc. So what happens with McStay, if he is in the forward line, is that Brody Myercheck, God bless his soul, we love Myercheck here at Swoop Luke, and in the Collingwood Army just in general. Brody Myercheck has been battered from pillar to pillar since 2018, since making his debut. He hasn't had anyone really help him out. Like, he's playing injured most of this year, and we talked about it in the off-season number 1 video. Brody Myercheck has been playing injured most of this year, and you can see he's not really moving. He's not hasn't got his body going because he's getting the best defender all the time, or the second best defender all the time. Dan McStay comes in as a huge dude, big-bodied, tall guy. He is going to help Brody Mychek, just in the sense that, you know, McStay might get the best forward and Brody Mychek might get the second or the third or anything sort of combination like that. So he does help, can take a good mark that we've seen, can take a good contested mark, which is even better. But what I love about McStay is his versatility. Now, no Jordan Roughhead down back. McStay, if we need to, switch him down back, put Darcy Moore up forward like they've done a couple of times this year. McStay into the ruck. We saw that against in the finals, I think against Richmond, where he rucked most of the game and just had an amazing game. So what that probably means to me is that Cox, he triggered his clause. He gets he's into next season, but I think Cox plays mostly twos next year and will be a depth player for us. We toyed with Darcy Cameron and Mason Cox for the rest of the year, the rest of this season. Cox comes out, Daniel McStay comes in, and then it'll probably be McStay and Cameron switching from ruck to forward. I dare say that McStay is mainly in the forward line and Darcy Cameron is mainly our ruck. But I think that's what will happen. And, you know, that's great. We have that versatility. If we really need to do that, we have that. And then you have Kruger coming in as that third tall, or Ash Johnson. Ollie Henry, maybe. I don't think he stays. But we do have those options now. And we have that depth because we couldn't drop Mychek to work on himself and to heal because we had no depth players that were available. Kruger was out for most of the season. Ollie Henry's not that big for. We don't have players like that can come in and replace Mychek. But now, if Mychek is injured or if he needs 2 weeks rest because of his hips or whatever it may be, he comes out, McStay can just command that forward line. And that's why he is such a good acquisition and so cheap as well. Yes, we're paying him $600,000 a year for 5 years or whatever it may be, but that's the free agency tax. You have to pay this tax. He's probably only worth $450 or something, but you have to pay that extra money to get it over the line to get these players here because the AFL has just really messed up how free agency works. But that's, you know, another video. The last thing I want to talk about here is Brodie Grundy. Now, we know that Brodie Grundy is leaving. Melbourne have come out and said that he's going to be a Melbourne player. Graham Wright has come out and said he's going to be a Melbourne player. It's how that deal gets done and when that deal gets done. This video will come out on Wednesday, so today, Wednesday. I think it'll get done by the end of the day. Definitely get done by the end of the week, I think. Melbourne just traded for pick 27. I dare say, you know, Collingwood's trying to push for a top pick or pick 25 in that range, from 1 to 25 sort of thing. 27 and maybe a future first or something might get the job done. Collingwood obviously don't want him to play for the club anymore, and that's sad. We'll never know what really transpired unless there's, you know, I don't know, someone comes out and really says something, but we'll never truly know what's going on. We know he's contracted for another 5 years. We know he's on close to $1 million a season, and we know for a fact that Collingwood will be paying him upwards of $300,000 at Melbourne. Now, if Brodie Grundy comes for pick 27, I would assume Melbourne pays a little bit more and Collingwood pay a little bit less because that's for an All-Australian ruckman, a twice All-Australian ruckman. Pick 27 isn't that good. I would love the pick that they get for, or one of the picks that they get for Luke Jackson. That's never going to happen because Brodie Grundy just isn't that player that he was in 2018, 2019. But pick 27 for me doesn't get the deal done. It has to be 27 and something else, or 27 and a player. Something that'll sweeten the deal. I know player probably not, but something that sweetens the deal a little bit because, yeah, pick 27 alone, I feel, isn't going to get Brodie Grundy off. But don't be surprised if it goes down to like exactly what happened with Treloar, where it was like, okay, pick 14, this and this and this for such a good player, just to kind of get him off a book, say, yep, done, wipe your hands clean. Don't be surprised if that kind of happens as well towards the end of deadline day. But strap yourselves in, this is going to be a crazy trade period. I think by week's end, the Frampton deal also gets done. A key defender that we truly need. Fiorini will get done as well. And Mitchell is the one for me where you go, okay, let's hope that he comes in. I think he will come in, but I think that'll be a deadline day deal as well. But, Swoopers, let me know your thoughts down below. How do you feel about Bobby Hill coming? How do you feel about Daniel McStay? And what do you think Melbourne will give up to get Grundy over to their side? Let me know your thoughts down below. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers, I'll swoop you later.